we're just a touch away. Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Ask PQ on Bloomberg Quint Live, and I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Hi, Navneet. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Ask PQ, as Navneet just said. This is the show that gets you all the answers to your equity-related queries, and you can send them in to us on a variety of platforms that includes Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Well, you can also call us on 022-454-04141, or you can mail us on askpq@bloombergquint.com. Just make sure to add the AskPQ hashtag. But just to have a look at how the markets are trading as of now, Navneet, sea of red in the Asian markets.
Yeah.
Outperformance in India.
Sure, there is an outperformance in India, and it's been a positive start, though we may have given up, the opening gains, so to say. The markets are definitely off today's high, and Bank Nifty has slipped into the red, which is down almost 33 points. But clear outperformance seen when you compare it to the Asian indices, and also the broader markets are outperforming the benchmarks today. So keep that in mind. Nifty mid-cap up almost 150 points in trade. Nifty small-cap index is up almost 63 to 64 points. But having said all of that, just to keep in mind, the volatility is on the higher side despite of markets also trending higher, so that could be a sign of worry. 12.9, it's just nudging the 13 mark, the India VIX, so keep that in your mind. And in terms of sectoral indices, the pharma and the IT pack continues to outperform even in today's trading session after Friday's run-up that we've seen. So also the Nifty Metals Index is up and about. So three indices which are doing pretty well. And I want to pull up the intraday chart of the Nifty Realty Index, which did have a gap down opening owing to the construction ban which has been announced in 3 states. But look at that. That's been a good recovery for Nifty Realty, which is now almost in the positive territory, owing to stocks like Brigade Enterprises and Oberoi Realty. Both of them are up and about today. So watch out for Brigade, which is up almost 5.5%, and also good strength seen in something like Oberoi Realty, which is up 4%. Quickly, can we just pull up the advanced decline ratio just to give you an idea of what's happening in the entire listed universe? So clearly it's 2:1, good market breadth as the broader markets are doing well. Just want to highlight few gainers. Heikel, RPG Life and Orion Abrasives. These are the stock which have seen good amount of gains. In fact, RPG is up 12.5%. Orion Abrasives also seeing good session today. Paper stocks are up and about. So West Coast, JK Paper, International, APPM. Just highlighting 3 to 4 stocks. But remember, the entire pack has seen good traction in today's trade. West Coast is up almost 9% right now. On the losing side, Balkrishna Industries, because of the capex they've announced of 1,700, which they will be funding through internal accruals. I think that's weighing on the stock. But remember that this was an outperformer in the month of August. Adani Transmission and something like Escorts, Alex, have seen cuts in today's trade.
All right, let's get our 2 experts in for the day. Amar Singh of Angel Broking and Parthiv Shah of TRACOM Stockbrokers are here to answer all of your queries today. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. I just want to make a quick point here before we start the show. A lot of you know how the format of this show goes. You ask your questions on the various platforms and we take them. Unfortunately, this is a half-hour show and we try to fit as many questions as possible, but we run out of time more often than not. We're trying something new today. The last 2 minutes of the show we're reserving for what will be a rapid fire. So we're trying to fit as many queries as possible. Do bear with us. We'll try this out today and see how it works. Your feedback, as always, is more than welcome.
Just one point to add for rapid fire. It'll be very convenient for us if you just send us the name of one stock and what you want to know, whether you want to buy, hold or sell that stock. So we can just directly, ask our experts with regard to that question.
Yeah, and the experts have been briefed.
Yes.
Let's hope it goes well. With that, let's take the first query. Gaurav has written in to us from Mangalore. He has bought 45,000 shares of Sankhya Infotech at 51 rupees per share with a long-term view. He wants to know if he should hold or sell. If you're not aware of what this stock does, or what this company does rather, it develops software solutions for the aviation and aerospace industry. It is listed on the BSE. It is currently trading at 89 rupees. Not a lot of volumes, but I'm still going to take this question to Amar. Amar, is there anything that you can glean from the charts here on Sankhya Infotech?
Yeah, looking at this particular counter, what we see is that the stock has been on a decline and it has got very crucial support around 83 levels, because that was the low that was made around 84, and currently it's around 89. So ideally what he can do is, since he's bought at 51 levels, so he's making good profits, so 50% of the position he should definitely trade, because looking at the stock, in spite of the IT space doing very well, the stock is not going anywhere. It's in a downtrend, because only if the stock consistently trades above 112 levels, then any further upside could be materialize. So in 50% of the trades he can book his position, and for the balance he can trade trail with a stop loss below 83 levels.
Let's move on and take some more queries. Since IT is trending higher on back of rupee depreciation, let's take Saurav Kumar's query, and he wants to know one IT stock which he can put his money in in the next 3 to 5 years. Let's take this question to Parthiv. Parthiv, most of the IT stocks have already run up. We've seen stocks like Mindtree and IT Tech touching fresh highs almost every day. If somebody wants to make a fresh investment into this sector, which is the stock that you would recommend?
Yes, Navneet, certainly for a 3 to 4 year view, where I think we might see some cyclicality also play. I feel that a stock like Infosys, I think makes very good sense. The company is extremely well placed, and I think it's also going to get all the advantages of the depreciated currency and the new deal pipeline that they're working on, and all the initiatives that they have taken in the digital segment. And relatively, if I were to see as compared to its largest peer, which is TCS, Infosys in terms of valuations and in terms of the stock performance is yet been an underperformer. So I think they will take this year to get back their act together, and post which I think we can see sustained move upwards. So 3 to 4 year view, I think Infosys should be my pick.
All right, let's take a couple of questions from YouTube as well. We've got Gaurav Jaggi, who's asked us a question on Talbros Auto. He's bought at 276 levels. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's currently trading. 291. So he's making a bit of a profit on that. He's asking what the near-term targets are for Talbros Auto. Amar, what's the view on the stock? Currently down about 0.5% in trade.
Yeah, looking at this particular stock, I would say that technically it's trading completely in a consolidation zone, because on the downside, somewhere around 275, 270, that's acting as a crucial support. Whereas on the upside, 305, 310, that's a resistance zone. And technically, if I look at the weekly charts as well, or the monthly charts, they really don't inspire too much of confidence. So what it effectively means is that the stock is likely to trade till the time it does not consistently break above 310 levels, the stock is likely to consolidate.
Okay, that's Talbros Auto for you. Trading not doing too much actually in today's session, and it's not done anything in the last 1 month. Also, it's just been about flattish. Okay, Vivek Kanoja has written to us, and he's asking, he wants to do SIP of 10,000 for the next 10 to 15 years, and he's asking which stock to go for. Parthiv, I'm going to come to you. RBL, Yes Bank or Kotak Bank, which is the best one to do an SIP for the next 10 to 15 years of 10,000 rupees each?
Certainly, in terms of a 10 to 15 year view, wherein I think Kotak Banks seems to be the best bet. The only reason being that this is not only going to do great in terms of the banking sector foray and the banking exposure that they have, but also the sum of part valuation of all its subsidiaries, whether I talk of its insurance subsidiaries, its AMC subsidiaries, and very similarly to what we saw in HDFC Group, where its subsidiaries got unlocked. I think we are envisaging the same thing to happen in a stock like Kotak over the next 5, 10, 15 years. So I think out of the 3 stocks you mentioned, Kotak would be the best stock in which I believe one can certainly do an SIP.
All right, let me take a question from Facebook. Marimathu Murugan is writing us a query on Facebook. He's asking for the fundamental and technical view on Century Ply. He's asking whether he should enter the current price. So let's pull up the chart and see what it's trading. 226 rupees. He mentioned that his time horizon is only about 3 months. So I'm not really sure if Parthiv can give you a sense on the fundamentals for 3 months. But let me just go to him all the same. Parthiv, for an investor who wants perhaps to hold longer than Marimathu does, what would you recommend with regard to Century Ply?
Certainly, I think it has especially recently. One thing that did not go well against Century Ply was the slight overcapacity of MDF in the south, because one was envisaging that the medium density fiber business of Century Ply, where they had done the capex, especially had put up capacities in the north Ludhiana market, I think would bear good fruits. No doubt it will come in the form of volume growth, but the margins I think might be slightly tepid because of the slightly higher competitive intensity. Nonetheless, I think that's the futuristic side of the business, wherein the company should do well. And another reason why the stock has underperformed is because all the benefits of the unorganized to the organized markets have certainly not percolated very strongly. There is some talk of even many of the unorganized players starting to do business in an organized fashion. So, but my sense is that Century is an extremely strong brand. The plywood market and the MDF market in a country like India is still at a very, very nascent stage, and branded players like Century should certainly benefit. There's a lot of business from many players in this industry, and Century is one of the market leaders. So over the next 3 to 5 years, I think I'm very confident the stock will do very well. But in the short to medium term, there is a possibility to see some sort of time correction and underperformance in this stock.
All right, so that's the view coming in from Parthiv on Century Ply. I'm going to go across to Amar very quickly. Amar, I'm going to add one more stock. Century Ply at current levels, Parthiv says that there's likely to be some kind of correction in the price there. But I'm going to add Engineers India as well. What would you recommend with regard to these two at current market price?
Yeah, I would say Century Ply is definitely witnessing some consolidation after a correction from almost 350 levels. And on the daily charts, we are witnessing some bullish divergence. So what it effectively means is that the downside seems to be limited to around 210, 220 zone. But till the time the stock does not consistently trade above 235, 240 levels, I would say the stock remains in a downtrend. And talking about Engineers India, what we see that this stock has bounced back, and it has taken very strong support around 120 odd levels. And the stock has bounced back, and it has a potential of immediately rallying towards 145, 150 levels. So, so I would say that there is some positive momentum. But on the upside, there would be very strong resistance around those levels which I talked about. Because still, if I look at it on the long-term charts, it clearly shows that upside is going to meet with selling pressure in this stock.
Okay, that's Engineers India for you, up 6% right now and doing pretty good in today's trade. Let's just pull up the chart of Asian Paints and also the future plate, if we can, please. Ram Hegde on Facebook writes to us, I think he's stuck in the September series futures of Asian Paints, which he bought at 1426, and clearly the stocks come off on the future side by almost 50 to 51 rupees. Amar, I'm going to come back to you. He's making losses of somewhere about 30,000 to about 31,000. What do you think he should do? Book his losses, or he can place a stop loss and hold on for a while?
Yeah, looking at Asian Paints, what we've seen in Asian Paints is that this stock has been on a gradual decline. After making a high of 1496, and then it has corrected all the way to 1370 currently. And it is now very close to a very crucial support zone of around 1350-55 zone. So he can hold his position with a stop loss below that. Only if it trades above 1390-92, then some decent rally can be expected in the stock. Otherwise, it would meet with selling pressure around 1400 and 1410 levels. But what he needs to watch out is 1350, 1355 zone. That's a very strong and very crucial support zone. So there is a very high probability that the stock could bounce back from these levels.
All right, Anuj Wankhede has written in asking about Petronet LNG. He's bought 500 shares at 225 levels. He's asking what his target should be 1 year from now. Parthiv, what's your view on Petronet LNG? And if you have a view on any levels that you could look for a year from now, that would be helpful.
Very frankly, I think I don't see much triggers in a stock like Parthiv LNG over the next 1 year only. Yes, if one were to talk about beyond 1 year, say a 2 to 3 year view, then there are a lot of triggers in terms of some of its gasification projects coming on stream. Many of the pipelines that are laid by one of its peers, which is GAIL, coming on stream, which would help, in terms of logistics for a player like Parthiv LNG, where the volume growth a lot depends upon how the infrastructure and the logistics is in place. But I think in the short to medium term, it does have lack of triggers, nor are the marketing margins at the best. So I think I would prefer, if at all one has only 1 year view, a stock like MGL, Mahanagar Gas Limited, which is a similar sort of a business. But again, I think it's a fantastic business. The stock has cooled off a lot, and I think going ahead, this is going to be the city gas distribution players are certainly going to get re-rated with the prospects of the business that they have, not only in the newer geographies that they won, but also in the existing geographies where they are garnering more and more customers. So MGL would be the more preferred bet as compared to Petronet LNG.
Okay, MGL is looking better than Petronet LNG according to Parthiv on basis of fundamentals. Our next query is on BF Investment. Let's just pull up that stock. Gaurav Jaggi on YouTube is saying he's got 5,000 shares at 333 and currently it's just about at the same buying level of Gaurav's. He wants to know how's the stock looking technically. Amar, on the charts, do you see any upside from the current levels for BF Investments?
Yeah, looking at BF Investments, what we see is that this stock is consolidating, but overall the stock remains positive. So he can definitely hold on to his position. What he needs to watch out is that 345, 350, that's a crucial level of resistance. Once that is taken out, then the stock is headed higher towards 375. On the downside, strong support for the stock is seen around 320, 325 zone.
All right, Sivakumar is asking a question with regard to the fundamentals of a particular sector. So Parthiv, in the cement space, do you have any picks and what would you recommend with regard to a pick here? Also, the near-term triggers, is there any effect that you can see with regard to the ban on construction in those 4 states that was announced by the Supreme Court?
Frankly, I think some of the cement players, especially the ones which are located in the central part and the northeast part, they are the ones where we are focusing on for the next 3 to 5 years. Because over there, if you see in terms of the pricing, they're getting reasonable pricing power. Plus, I think the volume growth is also there. Certainly, the recent announcement regarding the ban, which could be probably temporary in nature, because I'm very confident that the state governments will now certainly will have to act. A lot of elections on the head, and they're certainly going to act faster and try and get the approval for the same again. But I think it could be a temporary blip. But certainly, if I have to bet on some of the names, Heidelberg Cement is one stock which I find it very comforting to suggest even at current levels. The stock and the company is extremely well placed, has a cement capacity of 5.25 million tons per annum, which through debottlenecking they can scale it up, and they are, I think, very efficiently managing this capacity. So Heidelberg Cement would be the most preferred bet of catering to the central markets and the northeastern markets.
Okay, so Parthiv likes Heidelberg Cement in the cement pack. On Facebook, we've got a query coming in on Bharti Airtel. Dishant writes to us, and he wants a view for the next 3 months. He's already bought, I believe, the stock at higher levels of 515. Bharti Airtel is currently at about 385. Amar, in the next 3 months, what sort of levels do you envisage on the charts with regard to something like Bharti Airtel?
Yeah, Bharti Airtel, what we are seeing that definitely the stock seems to have bottomed out, and the stock now has got 2 levels of crucial support zone. One is around 350, 360. But technically what we are seeing is on the long-term charts, it has got extremely strong resistance coming around 415, 420 levels. So till the time that level is not reached, the stock is likely to witness consolidation. But on the weekly charts, it is clearly indicating that there is upside to this stock. So if that level is breached, then the stock could rally higher towards 445, 450 levels. But the downside seems to be limited now for Bharti Airtel.
All right, Parthiv, we've got an investor, Anirudh Gupta, who's invested in 8K miles at 560. Let's pull up the year-to-date chart. Actually, if you pull up the one-year chart, you'll get a better sense of where this stock has gone. It's gone from levels of as high as close to 1,000 in November, all the way down to 328. It seems that Anirudh bought on the way down. Parthiv, what would you give as advice to him? He is a long-term investor, but he's lost significant amount of money.
Yes, certainly. I think in the IT space, one has to be very, very careful, not get carried away with some of the concept-related themes. And 8K miles, certainly, I think at one point in time, had even rewarded shareholders extremely well. But these are the type of stocks where I think a timely exit is also extremely important, and not a company that we have ever preferred or ever recommended in the past as well. And even now, I feel that IT sector, one will have to cherry-pick the stocks. We'll have to see the past track record. We'll have to see how many verticals they're catering into and how their relationships are with their current clientele. Not on a one-time sort of a lumpy business. So certainly, as I mentioned, like at the start of the show, Infosys certainly fits the bill. And if one wants to go in the mid-cap IT space, I would certainly recommend a switch over into something like a Persistent Systems.
Okay, so you're saying he should book losses and switch right now?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. I think we've got a caller online. Zeenal Satra calls us from Mumbai. Hi, Zeenal. Good afternoon to you, and thanks a lot for calling us. Tell us what's your query on.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thank you, Navneet, for receiving my call. It's been a pleasure talking to you live.
Pleasure is all ours as well. Tell us what's your query.
Yeah, my query is that I want to invest rupees 50,000. So could you please suggest me a nice stock, probably from a mid-cap one, which can endow me some fruitful returns?
What's your time horizon, Zeenal?
Around probably 3 months or 4 months. I have one more query too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have owned a Manali Petro, 1,000 shares at rupees 49. So currently, should I hold or exit the counter if your expert can help me with their stop loss?
Sure. And this one too, you have a time horizon of 2 to 3 months, or you can hold on for 1 to 2 years?
Not probably. I'm willing to hold for a year.
Okay. Parthiv, I'm going to come to you first from Manali Petro. She's holding 1,000 shares at 49. Can we just pull up the stock price as well and check what the current price is? It's at 39 to 40 and she's purchased at 49. She's willing to hold on for the next 1 year. Do you think it's worth holding?
Yes, certainly. I think my sense is that for many of these chemical and petrochem related plays, I think the outlook should remain extremely good for the next 6 to 8 months because all the structural changes that have taken place in a country like China, I think Manali Petro has certainly turned around and showed very good set of numbers in the last few quarters, and going ahead also this trend should continue. So whatever re-rating has to be done should take place over the next 6 to 8 months. So certainly I think, but yes, I would also like to warn that these are not the type of stocks that you just buy and forget forever. They do have its own set of cyclicalities. So if you are getting good money on the table, certainly even book some profits or take out some part of your principal invested into such companies.
Parthiv, very quickly, I know you're not going to give any short-term investment call, but if somebody still wants to put 50,000 for the next 3 to 4 months, which stock would you choose?
I think RBL Bank would be the stock that I can select even for the short to medium term. The triggers being the upcoming quarterly results. So I think RBL Bank would be the stock for not even 3 to 4 months, but even longer. But yes, RBL Bank would fit the bill.
Okay. Very quickly, I think we've got a couple of questions on HDFC AMC. I believe we've got an investor who's gotten in at 1,904. Also, we've got, we've got another investor viewer who is asking for a fresh entry between HDFC AMC and Reliance Nippon, which is a better pick for the next 3 to 5 years. So very quickly, Parthiv, if you can weigh in on HDFC at 1,904 and also a comparison at current market price between HDFC AMC and Reliance Nippon.
I would go with the more expensive one, which is HDFC AMC. Certainly, the markets will always carry and have premium for a brand like HDFC, wherein I think not only that they've done extremely well and their profitability ratios are a lot better, but I think even going ahead, the distribution channel will be the differentiating factor for the growth of many of these asset management companies, where HDFC AMC, along with its bank channel with HDFC Bank and many other relationships that they share, will certainly have an upper edge. And I think even from here, I feel if one has 3 to 5 year view, the stock should be rewarding.
Okay, so Parthiv likes HDFC AMC, which is definitely trading at higher valuations compared to Reliance Nippon, which so far has been underperforming. All right, we are heading into a segment which Alex spoke about at the start of the show, and that's the rapid fire round. And we're just going to start off with the queries. The first one I'm going to take off Vivek Pratap, who wants a call on Titan, hold, buy for the next 3 to 6 months. Amar, what would you say? Hold or buy?
Yeah, I would say that he should definitely hold his position.
Okay, so that's a clear hold on Titan. Stock is up 2.9% in trade today. Amod Sagvekar is asking for a view on Texmaco Rail. I'm quickly going to go across to Parthiv. Parthiv, what's your impression? Fresh entry at this point?
No, prefer L&T.
Prefer L&T. Okay.
Okay, prefer L&T. Kishore writes to us. He wants to know Credit Access Grameen. Is it a buy, hold, or sell? Parthiv, I'm going to come to you on this one. What would you suggest?
Sell if he has, and prefer L&T Finance Holding.
Fantastic. Okay, this is going very well, I must say. S. Kumar is asking a question on Leel Electricals at 212 buy. So it's obviously a fresh entry at this point. Oh, well, no, actually, it seems like he's bought. So the question should be hold or sell at this point. Amar, what's the view on the charts?
I would say the stock has corrected significantly, and it's forming a base, so he can hold at these levels.
Okay.
Okay, hold on to Leel at current levels. Next one is on M&M, comes in from Ravi Patil. I think he's bought at 760. He wants to know what to do, buy, hold or sell. M&M, I'll take it to you, Parthiv. What would you suggest?
Hold for at least next 3 years.
Okay, this is going incredibly well. All right, IRB Infra question from Amit at 240. Let's pull up the chart quickly. Where is it trading? 191, making a bit of a loss there. Amar, on the charts, should he hold or sell at this point?
Yeah, IRB Infra, he can definitely hold on to his position because the stock seems to have bottomed out.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is on Meghmani Organics. Pull up the charts. Viraj wants to know at 98 what to do with this one, and I think the current price is below 98. Parthiv, what would you suggest for Meghmani Organics? Bought at 98, current price is lower than that.
Hold for the next 6 to 12 months. If one gets 20% returns from your buy price, exit.
Okay. Vivek Pratap Singh, Sterlite Technologies, is it a buy at the current market price? What is the rate right now? Let's pull up the chart and see. Sterlite Technologies currently trading 1% higher at 366. Buy more or hold? I'm going to go to Parthiv.
Hold on to your positions, buy on dips and hang on for the next 3 years.
Okay, Harsh Kumar wants to pick between Reliance Capital versus AB Capital. Amar, I'm going to come to you since he wants a technical call on this one. Choose Reliance Capital or AB Capital.
Yeah, he can look at Reliance Capital because Reliance Capital seems to be very strong technically on the chart. So, that should be his preference.
Okay, very quickly, Infosys, Parthiv, what's your call on Infi? Is it too costly at this point, or would you recommend a fresh entry?
No, buy even here and at least a hold period for the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
Okay, not bad at all, Alex. Day one of rapid fire round. I think we should try it almost every day to accommodate as many queries as possible. But as usual, we've run out of time. Thank you all our viewers for tuning in and sending us your queries. And thank you, Amar and Parthiv, for joining us and helping our viewers with their queries. That's all that we have on this edition of Ask BQ.
So, as is evidenced by our attempt, we do try and take as many questions as possible. So do keep your questions coming in. You can tweet to us, you can send us your queries on Facebook or YouTube, or you can call us, as we told you at the start of the show. Also, for the queries that were answered on today's show, you can log on to the website and search for the hashtag AskBQ. Up next is Power Lunch, so do stay tuned. This is Bloomberg Quint.